Russel Brand, who are you to edit a political magazine?
Well, I just suppose like a person who's being politely asked by an attractive woman.
Russel Brand on Newsnight in 2010. He's always been known for his promiscuous character, openly talking about his sex life and his desire for women.
What about sex? Would you have called yourself a sex addict?
He came on this programme 5 times over 7 years and was questioned about his conduct, something he often discussed as part of his stand-up comedy act.
I feel a bit nervous. Okay. This is how it works.
You look at your daughter now and think, I hope she never meets Russel Brand when she grows up.
Don't get so worked up about it. It's only a rhetorical device. Does it appall you? No, my dear.
Positions that as the individual, sorry, a lady uncrossed the legs and I saw up her skirt.
But now a series of serious allegations have raised questions about the severity of his behaviour. Was it of a criminal nature? Some of the women who've spoken to The Times and Channel 4 say it was.
One of these women, who we're calling Alice, has said that Russel Brand assaulted her when she was 16 and still at school.
This morning, Alice spoke to Radio 4. She had a relationship with him when she was 16, which is not illegal.
I would sneak off and see him, and Russell groomed me and told me to save his number in my phone under a different name. And so that, nothing's flagged when there's, messages coming up, and he coached me on what to say to my parents.
Someone who worked with him has told us this evening that it was known he was having sex in the disabled loos at Wogan House, where he hosted his Radio 2 show from. Apparently people would simply say, that's just Russell. Here's a WhatsApp message from a former colleague of his. He was known for being seedy and gross, and everyone knew what he was doing in the disabled toilets on the 6th floor, but they just shrugged their shoulders and said, well, that's who he is. Russel Brand insists that all his relationships have been consensual, but many would argue that there has been inappropriate behaviour on a widespread and repeated scale. If that's the case, why wasn't it called out? Did former employers turn a blind eye? He's worked on Channel 4, for the BBC and for Endemol Productions, as well as others. And now we know that the BBC and Channel 4 are carrying out their own investigations. The debate into his conduct also brings into sharp focus the power dynamic that is sometimes present in media organisations, where celebrities are sometimes seen as being untouchable and are able to do almost anything without objection. One person who also worked with him at Radio 2 said he was given special treatment. As an example of how they catered for his every wish, he famously sent out for sushi before he went on air, but got the producer to collect it from 2 different sushi places, miles apart. In response to these WhatsApp messages, the BBC said, "We have clear expectations around conduct at work. These are set out in employment contracts, the BBC values, the BBC Code of Conduct, and the anti-bullying and harassment policy. We will always listen to people if they come forward with any concerns on any issue related to any individual working at the BBC, past or present."
We have consensus to meet.
Jen Smith is setting up an independent standards body for the entertainment industry, which she says will give people somewhere to make complaints and seek advice.
There is a significant gap in provision. CISA seeks to address that gap where people can report their concerns in real time, and there will be an independent body who can provide advice and, in the most serious and complex cases, investigate.
There is no criminal investigation into Russel Brand. In the eyes of the law, he is an innocent man. Today, the Met Police confirmed it had received a report of an alleged sexual assault in 2003 in connection with the allegations made about him.
Here is some truth, here is some truth.
When so many women come forward claiming sexual abuse, even rape, it would be irresponsible for the authorities and journalists not to ask questions. The Times is now saying more women have come forward with alarming stories.